Welcome to an invitation. Today I invite you to do some easy appetizers for the holidays that you can do ahead of time and make your party easy for you. So today we're going to do a quick and easy brie that you will love. So I've just had this in the oven for a few minutes because I don't want it too runny, but I just want it a little bit soft in the middle. Now, if you want to do it where it's completely hot and melty, you can do that, but you'll need to do it in a pan similar to this and just leave it in there. But I like to put my brie on a silver tray because I think it's really pretty for the holidays. And there's many things you can do. Bries are wonderful because they work with all different flavors. Today, I'm going to do raspberry preserves and we're going to top it with crumbled bacon and pecans. You can do fig preserves. You can do any kind of preserves that you like. Orange marmalade would be good. There are many, many things you can do. I find that the sweetness and the tartness of the raspberry works really well with the brie. So I'm just going to put all this on here. And this is about a cup of raspberry preserves on top. If you're doing the smaller version, it would be about a quarter cup of raspberry preserves. All right, now I have some toasted pecans. So I'm just going to sprinkle those all over the top here. So you can see how pretty that is. Just sprinkle those. And this is about a half cup of pecans. And you just kind of press it in so it covers everything. And then I have some crumbled bacon. You can use regular bacon. This is regular bacon. You can also use candied bacon, or you don't have to use bacon at all if you want to make this more of a vegetarian dish. But the saltiness of the bacon, the sweetness of the raspberry, and the brie is just a really wonderful flavor component. And now we have a little, I'm going to take these off now. And I've got a little bit of chives that I'm going to sprinkle on top for some color. Look how beautiful that is. All right, and now we're going to finish out this tray. One of the things that you want to think about when you're doing trays is that people eat first with their eyes, second with their nose, and last with their mouth. So we want to garnish the tray out and make it beautiful. And it is so simple to do things like that. So I just have some simple ingredients here. I have some red grapes. So we're making a nice segment of red grapes. And then I have an orange. So I'm going to take this. We're going to slice it a little bit. I'm going to just make some rounds, some quick rounds. And then we're going to cut these in quarters so they're easy for people to eat. I just cut them in slices and then come through and do a quick cut this way and that way. And you don't have to even arrange them. You just kind of lay them on there. Look at the color contrast with the grapes. It makes a beautiful presentation. And then I have a green apple. If you want to do an apple ahead of time, you slice it and then soak it in some orange juice so that it is easy to work with, but also it keeps it from turning brown. And the orange juice on the apple doesn't change the flavor of the apple, but it also helps it to stay not turn brown for about an hour to 2 hours. Just like things to be easy. I don't want anything to take too much time during the holidays because we're all so busy. So now we're going to put those green apples there, and look, now we've got another color component. It's really beautiful. And again, you don't have to organize them. If you like to organize, you can organize. That's just fine. Now I have some blackberries. And the wonderful thing about this is when people take some brie, they will take these fruits to eat with it. And it's really yummy. And then we serve this with some warm French bread, also with some crackers. Then I'm going to take these strawberries, and I like to cut them in half so it's easier for people to eat. They've been washed and just dabbed the wetness off of them a little bit. You don't have to cut them in half, but I think people are more likely to take a strawberry if it's cut in half than it is if it's whole. And they're so pretty when you see the half cut there. It just makes for a really beautiful presentation. I like to leave it half done. We might put a few more grapes on this other side here. And maybe I'll do one more piece of an orange just in front to finish that off. And if you have some Christmas greenery, you can decorate around the outside of the tray with the Christmas greenery. But what we have here is, look how beautiful this is. Beautiful presentation, gorgeous, easy to start to eat. It makes a beautiful presentation. And I'll show you one more little trick. If your brie is not too melty, you can do this. So I will often cut a little wedge here. Sometimes people are afraid to start in on something like this. It's a little off-putting. So I'll cut a little wedge and just slide it out slightly so that people know that it's easy to eat. So there we have it, a very simple, easy, quick brie on, not brie en croûte. You could do it en croûte if you wanted to. We sometimes do wrap it in pastry, but just a brie top with raspberry preserves, bacon, and pecans with some fresh fruit garnish. Up next is another delicious item that is quick and easy for you to do. Now we're going to do a couple of really easy shrimp appetizers. You're going to love these. The first one we're going to do is a shrimp Louie Dip. So look how yummy that looks. Super simple, super easy. So I have about 4 ounces of cream cheese. I've just let it get a little bit soft that I'm going to put in here. And then I'm going to mix about a cup of ketchup in with this. If you don't even want to go to this much trouble, which is not that much trouble, you can buy your favorite jar of Thousand Island dressing, because that's basically what we're making. Thousand Island has some mayonnaise in it, but we like to use cream cheese because it helps the dip stay together and not be so runny. So I'm just going to mix this together for a minute. It's going to take a minute, and you just bring it all together. This is going to make about a quart of dip, which would be enough for about 8 to 10 people. So now we've got this almost blended together. So I've got this almost mixed up, and you know, I'm an old school chef. I like to do things by hand, but if you want to make this a little bit easier for you, just put your beaters in here and beat it up a little bit till everything's mixed in really well. And the actual recipe is online, but you know, as a chef, I always tweak a little here and there as I go, because that's what we chefs like to do. All right, so now I'm ready here, and we're going to put in about a tablespoon of Worcestershire, which gives it a nice flavor. And then I'm going to put just about a half teaspoon of Tabasco. And if you like it to be spicier, you can always add more Tabasco to it. So we're going to mix that in. And again, this is something you can make ahead of time. And I'm going to put the shrimp in it. You can make this up to a day ahead. And actually, I think it's better to make it early because all those flavors soak into the shrimp and just make it yummy. And so now I've got about a half a pound of shrimp here that I'm going to put into this mixture. This is a full pound, and I'm going to use the other half for my other recipe. So we'll mix this up. And then I've got some green onions here that we're going to sprinkle in, just a little dash so we have a little color. And we'll get this all mixed up. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Yummy. So now we've got that ready, and I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it sit. And what you're going to notice is a lot of this mixture is going to soak into the shrimp so that all that flavor gets in. And then after it sits in the refrigerator for about 4 or 5 hours, you're going to get this is going to be your end product because everything will have soaked in. Our next recipe is going to be shrimp Campechana. I love this dish. For those of you that don't know what Campechana is from Mexico or South America. It is basically a ceviche, but with cooked seafood. So we make ours with a pico de gallo. It's very simple. It's very few ingredients. So we have the shrimp already cooked and cut, ketchup, tomato juice, a classic pico de gallo with some lime juice and a little Tabasco. Simple ingredients, most of the things you have at home. You can make your own pico de gallo or you can buy it from the grocery store. Any of that works. So we're going to start with our ketchup, and it is about a cup and a half of ketchup for this amount of shrimp. And then I have about the same, a cup and a half of tomato juice. And we're going to mix those together so they're nice and mixed in. And then I'm going to come with about a tablespoon of lime juice to give it a nice citrusy flavor. And then about a half teaspoon of Tabasco. I like it a little spicy, so I might add a little more, and that's up to you. You can do whatever you like. This one is really easy and doesn't require a lot of stirring. Just mix that all in, and then I have about 3/4 of a cup of pico de gallo. We made this, and we make our pico de gallo with tomatoes, onions, cilantro, and jalapeno, a little salt, a little lime juice, but again, you can always buy it at the grocery store. Most grocery stores sell pico de gallo now. And see how pretty that is? It's all mixed in. And then I'm going to put in a half a pound of shrimp. And this is done. This one does not have to sit for any length of time, but if you want to let it, you can make it the day ahead, and it really is better if you let it sit for a little while. What's interesting, when you pull it out of the refrigerator, the tomato juice and the ketchup sort of coagulate, so you just need to stir it up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing's happened. It just makes this beautiful Campechana. So you see there's our finished product, and here we are. So 2 super easy shrimp recipes for you to do for your holiday celebrations. And now the pièce de résistance, my favorite charcuterie Christmas tree. It's going to be fun. It's a little kitschy, but you know what? It's Christmas. Let's just have a little fun with it. So I've got a silver tray here, just a long silver tray. So let me go through the ingredients first. So on a charcuterie board, I've got 2 different kinds of meat. I have salami, and I have some grilled venison sausage. And then we have some green olives. I've got 2 kinds of nuts, pistachios. Well, these are not nuts. These are pepitas, so pumpkin seeds. Then I have 2 different kinds of cheese. This is Swiss cheese that I've cut into little squares, and this is a fontina cheese that I've made into little triangles. And then we have some red and green grapes and some pecans. You can use whatever you have at home to do this, but this is what I chose today. And then I took a piece of the fontina and cut it out into a star that we're going to use for the top of our tree. So what I normally do is I start with a few nuts and basically sort of outline my tree so I know what I'm doing. So this is going to be the base of the tree, and this is going to be the top of the tree, and I'm just going to make a few nuts here so I can follow the lines as I build my charcuterie board. And there, so now we have what looks like a Christmas tree, or the beginnings of a Christmas tree anyway. So I am going to start with my olives at the top, so we have some green at the top. I intermix green things all the way through, so it actually has the green from a Christmas tree. The first items are kind of the hardest, so we're just going to kind of put those in there, and then we will build it up a little bit. There we go. Maybe 1 or 2 more. And then next I'm going to come with some salami, and I'm going to remove the nuts as I come down. And so I'm just going to lay the salami across here like this. And this would be enough to feed 4 to 5 people. But if you have many things on your table, it could feed a lot more. So we're building this as part of 4 different appetizers that we would have for like an early cocktail party in December. All right. And then next, I'm going to come back with some more green. So I've got my pepita seeds. So these are the pumpkin seeds. I'm just going to squeeze them in here so they're nice and tight, but still following the line of my Christmas tree. So I'm going to tuck these in a little bit. I may have gotten that salami a little too far out. All right, there we go. Oops, runaway olive. That happens. All right, and then I'm going to do some pistachios next, right next to those pepitas. And the pepitas are toasted. You can usually buy them in the grocery store. Sometimes they're already toasted. If they're not, you just run them in the oven. Same with the pistachios. In a 300-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Just watch them closely so they don't burn. Nuts will burn very easily. But when you toast them, all the natural flavors of the nuts just like become very vibrant and happy. All right, next I'm going to come with some raspberries. You could use strawberries, you could use oranges, you could use any other types of fruit that you want to use, but I love raspberries, and I think they pair very nicely with the meats and the cheeses. And then we're going to come with a layer of this Swiss cheese. We'll get rid of those. We can always tidy up the edges a little bit later on. So let me just run these here. So this is our venison sausage that we like to use. It's grilled. You can use any kind of sausage that you have, beef sausage, pork sausage, or you can use another kind of meat. You could use prosciutto. There are many, many meats that you could use, but I think people love venison sausage. And then we're going to come back with the tail of our tree, so it kind of has like a little pointed look to it. So we're going to go here. I'm just laying these across. That's where we cut them. So this is like the base of the tree, and then we're going to make the trunk out of these pecans. I'm just going to make a little trunk right there out of pecans. And we need to, looks like it's a fat tree, but not a lot of shape to it. So maybe we'll just add a little more shape to it and bring some of these things up. I can add some more of these. So, you know, you just kind of edit along the way to make it feel like it's supposed to feel. And we have the star we're going to put right on top. Look at that. Doesn't that look cute? And then a few more of these. And then we're almost done. So I've cut a few pieces of rosemary, and we're just going to stream them in. So just so it really looks like a tree. And you know how the branches on a tree come down. So that's what I'm trying to emphasize. And we have a really cute little Christmas tree here. Look at this. That one's a little big. Need a couple of smaller ones. So if we can just break that apart. Put those in right up there. Like that. And voila! We have a beautiful Christmas tree charcuterie board. And there you have it. We have 4 very simple appetizers that you can use for Christmas, for your Christmas parties. Very easy. We have the Brie with the raspberry, pecans, and bacon on top. Yummy. We have the 2 shrimp items, a shrimp Campechana, this one, and then the shrimp Louie Dip. And then we have our charcuterie Christmas tree, which I think is so cute. This is a perfect display for a cocktail party, for a small cocktail party. And I just hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Remember, enjoy cooking, enjoy entertaining, but most importantly, enjoy the experience. Cheers and Merry Christmas to everyone.